turn now to the utterly distinctive talent of Rowan Atkinson. This character appears to have arrived hot foot from Australia.
Your Majesties, Your Royal Highness, my lords, ladies, gentlemen, and friends back home. It is a great honour to be here tonight. And not only an honour, but also something of a blooming surprise. In fact, not to mince me mangoes, when I got the invite to speak here tonight, I said to myself, you know, Alec, this is the most mystifying thing that's ever happened to you. And I rang up my mum and I said, Mrs. Edith Guinness, you would not believe who's just written to your son, Alec. And the old fruit bat didn't. In fact, she was so surprised, she collapsed and had to take a sickie off work. But not only was I surprised to get the envy in the first place, but the contents were a bit of a fuddle. This is how the letter starts. Dear Alec, we'd love you to appear at the birthday tribute to the Queen Mother. Could you please talk for a while about the special relationship between the royal family and your noble profession? Then perhaps reminisce for a while about Laurence Olivier, John Gielgud, and Ralph Richardson. Well, you could have put a crock up me, Jackson, I'd have been less surprised. Not least because very few people have ever referred to my profession, rabbit poisoning, as either noble or having a lot to do with royalty. I suppose there might be some tenuous connections. Poisoning rabbits does have its nobility, the simple man pitted against the cunning of the clever rabbit, and I suppose we must remember that in Roman times, people used to try to poison members of the royal family. So the fact that we're now poisoning rabbits just shows how the popularity of the royal family has increased. Then, reminisce a little about Laurence Olivier. Well, delighted. The last time I saw Laurence Olivier was in an excellent film called Marathon Man, in which he played a dentist who kept tearing out Dustin Hoffman's teeth on a regular basis. He was great, really made me squirm. As for John Gielgud, well, the truth is, I only bumped into him, the Savo, during rehearsals. He's a pretty perky old thing, isn't he? And I'm delighted he found his trousers. Ralph Richardson I know less about. Although, if my memory serves me correctly, someone of that name used to play slide guitar for Olivia Newton-John in the early 1970s. And he was an excellent bloke who could hold his 4X with the best of them. And then we come to the slightly more perplexing part of the letter, if you'll excuse me. It reads, finally, it would be a great joy if you would honour us with a recitation from the works of your nation's greatest bard, or bard, as you people might say. We leave the choice of piece up to you. Well, fair enough. Now, I've looked through the collected poems of Rolf Harris. And to be frank, there doesn't seem to be much that's relevant to an occasion such as this. But your most gracious is, I did find a little something that I thought might tickle you. It's called simply Wallaby. Whoops, little Wallaby, what do you think you do? When you grow up, you'll be a kangaroo. Well, there you go. The magic of Rolf. I hope that's sort of what you had in mind, although to be absolutely frank, if you were going to ask someone to read poetry, you'd have been better off with that famous actor, Alec Guinness. In fact, it's a funny thing, because he came over to Australia quite recently, and he rented an apartment near me and my mum, and for a while I kept getting letters that were meant for him. And... oh, cripes.
One of our most successful young comedy stars.